Okay, so when we're working on these, the key is really we want to provide context for these activities without having to redesign our course. Now, the context should be provided by the existing content slides, right? So we're not going to delete these slides. We're just going to work with this content and then reframe it or rework it into a interactive knowledge check. So you don't want to delete your content. So I'm going to work with a content slide that I already have. I already have this info here around the 3 branches. I'm providing some learn more links. I'm going to work with what we already have. Quickest way to do that is to duplicate the slide. Now, you may duplicate the slide and put the question, the knowledge check, right after the content slide, or maybe you move it to, to the end of the module or later on in the course. Either way is fine. But the thing is, we want to work from what we already have and just rework it into the form of a question. So a couple ways we can go about doing this. At this point, I could convert it to a freeform. We could just come up here to insert and make an interaction out of it. One thing you might want to do, especially if you're working with a little bit more content, kind of like what we have here, is clean up the slide a little bit. It just gives you a fewer options that you have to sort through when you make your interaction, and you're going to get rid of them anyway because we're not going to give the learner the answers. So let's go ahead and just select all of these and delete them. So we're going to let's ask the question, which branch of government is, in this case, responsible for making the laws? Well, a couple things we can do. We may not, maybe if we want them to identify the actual building, maybe we'll get rid of the definition or their responsibilities right here, or we can work with all of them. Totally up to you, but each of these can be a separate choice. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select all of these and just move them down. Again, I'm still working with my same content, and I'm working in a free-form way, right? So I'm not having to follow any prescribed layout options. The only thing I'm going to do now is insert a text box, and I just select that, and there's my question. Which branch of government is responsible for making the laws? Well, since I'm asking that right here, maybe I'll just remove makes laws and make that a little bit more challenging than just giving them the answer. But a pick one, right, is pretty much a multiple choice. But we don't have to have that radio button. We don't have to list this out and make this look like a standard multiple choice question. We can actually work with the visual objects here. Which branch is responsible? Well, at this point, pretty much ready to convert it. Insert, and we'll convert it to a freeform, and select pick one. So what Storyline does here that's really cool is it actually recognizes everything that's on my slide level. It doesn't recognize the slide master, anything I have on my slide master layout, but it's given me 4 choices because I have 4 objects. I have the question text, the text field for the question, and then each of the objects. So if I hadn't deleted the text and the notepad and all those other objects, they would be available to me right here. So that's why I like to clean it up. If I know I'm not going to use it, just delete it first. You're going to delete it anyway, so just get rid of it. So I'm going to select each of my objects, and you can see that right here, and you can little red highlight around each of them. And I'm not going to select the text as an option, but I did select each of the buildings, the illustrations. And my correct answer is the legislative, right? And a couple of options here of how we score. Maybe we don't want to score, maybe we want to just provide a default feedback. Totally customize that any way you want. Save and close. At this point, I can still move this stuff around. I can rearrange these. One of my options in my edit pick one is to shuffle these, so they'll actually shuffle the choices. So whatever you want to do, a lot of ways to play with it. Because I left the default setting, you can see that I have the correct and incorrect, and then there's part of my feedback master on my template. So let's go ahead and just preview our interaction. Just come up here and preview the slide. Again, I select each of these. Now this glow right here, it's part of the built-in selection. I can totally customize that myself if I wanted to come up with my own selected visual state for this, but this is just adding a color glow to it so we can know that it's selected. This is my correct one, click submit, and there's my feedback, which I can completely customize as well. So the neat thing here, right, is that we don't have to really do anything other than work with the content we have, delete any extraneous pieces here, and convert it to a free form, and you can make a very quick interactive knowledge check in Articulate Storyline.